Hi Roses, welcome back to my channel. Today we have a special guest.
Hi, I'm Paige.
I have the link to her channel in the description box.
It's Paige Lene on YouTube and Instagram.
Yes, girl. So today we're gonna be discussing contentment and why our generation isn't really experiencing contentment with just God alone. Contentment, by definition, is a state of happiness and satisfaction. Why does it seem as if we can't be content with just God? Like, why?
And then there's times we can be too content in our spiritual walk with God, which we should want more of Him daily.
True. There's a scripture in 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 6. Godliness with contentment is great gain. And what that scripture means to me is that if you're pursuing God, you're more likely to become content, like with every aspect of your life, if that makes sense. The more you pursue God, the more you feel satisfied in Him.
You explained it very well. I feel the same way. I feel like I always tell people, well, with me anyway, I feel like without Him, I am nothing. So I feel like this verse kind of explains that with God, that you are content with literally everything in your life. Even if you don't have nobody, you're content with Him. You have peace, joy, everything that you need. So.
Yes. It's a struggle that we all deal with. Finding contentment while dating, and also keeping your hunger for God while dating. Whenever I'm going through a period of singleness, or not really having the time or the opportunity to go out with my friends, or maybe go out with a guy that I like, I'm more reluctant to pursue God and be hungry for God when I'm in a period of singleness and not really talking to anyone. I pray more, I read my Bible more, go to church more, but the moment someone I'm interested in someone and I'm dating someone, and then I realize I don't desire to read my Bible as much as I used to, or pray as much as I used to. I'm reluctant to pursue God and pursue the things of God while I'm in a period of singleness and just being alone, but busy. Maybe it's because I take an interest in the guy, or hanging out with my friends more. It's I don't pray as much as I used to. I don't read the word as much as I used to. I'm what is at work in me that makes my desire change?
I totally relate, because I do the same thing, and I kind of used to question myself, why does it seem like once you get in a relationship, you can't focus on God? And I feel with me, I kind of battle with flesh, and then what I know, spiritually. And then it's with women, I feel we get so interested in some men, and it's it's just you want to stop everything. One person, because you're attracted to them, interested in them, or whatever you got going on. But it's I feel with our generation, it's we need to learn how to balance that. And then I feel sometimes we probably didn't learn that growing up. With me personally, my dad wasn't there. It was just my mom. So it was I really didn't have a man figure to show me what love was, how to carry it. My mom was in church, but she didn't really teach me much about, spiritual things and how to carry yourself as a woman when it comes to men and everything. So, I kind of feel it's kind of what we taught growing up.
And I know for a fact we are not the only two dealing with this. The millennial generation, we are experiencing so much discontentment with everything. Even the hunger for money and status, wanting to be seen and famous, and it all boils down to contentment. We're never going to be truly satisfied and truly content apart from Christ. So when we do, if God does bless us with someone, our hunger for God should never cease. Being hungry for God and pursuing a relationship with God should not be based off situation. It's a choice, an everyday, day-to-day choice. Whether I'm talking to someone or not, I'm still gonna read my word and pray as if I'm in my season of singleness or loneliness. And I feel that's very important.
Better when the both of you, whoever you may be in a relationship with, is both doing the same. I was explaining to her earlier, I feel when the man is doing that, and after God, like you want to be, it's just like it motivates you to go after it even more, and it's like, I think it's very important. That's why I feel like with the dating stage, it's very important you watch your partner, see what they do, if they're interested in God, if they're pushing you to go after him. You already have your own desire, but it's just like seeing that other person doing it, it's like, wow. This makes you want to get up and reach about it, make sure y'all praying together.
Right.
And then I feel like that's also what creates a better marriage as well. And then like she was saying with the social media thing, I've dealt with before in the past. I don't anymore, but I once did, because it's like you see all the money and the lights and but I've learned, everything that we see on social media hear about, everything's not what it seems. Right. And then it's like also you don't know what people had to go through to get where they are. So just being content where God has us right now is very important. That's what I'm learning right now is myself to be more appreciative and content, where I am now, because it's, I know God has more for me, but just being comfortable where I am.
But I really like what you said about times where we can be too content, especially in our spiritual walk. We figure like, oh, well, I say a prayer in the morning when I wake up, like that's enough. But we should always crave more of God, because God is so unlimited and there's so many levels to a relationship with him. Like it comes from practical to spiritual, and then that spiritual leads to like manifestations like of his presence and of his love. And our generation needs like a great awakening, or we're going to continue being discontent and looking to things like drugs and social media to try to satisfy us, when God can only do that.
Yes, it's very important to not be too content in your walk with God. I feel like you need to have him more daily, even if it's switching up your routine, because I know sometimes people might just wake up, pray, and go to work, and do certain things, but sometimes I notice like with switching up with me, I write more, like as my prayer. When I have a low time, when it's just no one heard, I actually sit and pray, just kind of trying to do things where you can have more of him, because my excuse used to be, I don't have enough time, but it's like you have time, it's something that you're very interested in and passionate about. So with God, he should be your number one, no matter what you're doing. Even if you have kids, work, it doesn't matter. He should always come first. And I feel like that's very important. So always strive to have more of him, no matter what you do.
Yeah, I realized like too, because it would be too much going back and forth, like especially when I started first becoming hungry for God, the moment like a person should not ever take your time away from God. And if there's like, for example, like we have to be so disciplined to the point where we're like, okay, if I didn't spend this much time with God today, I have no business going out with you. Taking that extra mile and be pleased with that. And he will like reward you for like putting that effort behind wanting to spend time with him and putting him first. We should never take his place in our lives too lightly.
Times where I even tell people, like, I'm going to church fine, no, I gotta do this because it's important, and I never want to feel like, whatever I'm doing or may want to do outside is comes before God, which doesn't. So it's like, I know with some people, they might be like, oh, I just can't do it, but you really can.
You really can.
You really can. If you have the heart for it, you really want to go after God and love him, unconditionally, and really get to know him, I'm a beginner as myself, so, I know.
Yeah.
But it's like, it comes to a point in time where you have to switch your mind and be like, no, I have to do this. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts, no matter what they may say or think, that you're doing, or thinking that you all that. It's like, it's not even about that. It's about your relationship with you and him at the end of the day. Because when we all gone, it's going to be you
and God. So, it's going to be you and God. And I feel like also we put our trust in people way, way, way too much. To the point where when they fail us, we're so devastated. How could this happen? But God didn't want us trusting in that person in the first place. People can bless you. Yes. God can use people to bless you, but you have to also recognize your source. He's the only one that's going to stick by your side, regardless.
So even while, like, sometimes when I go through something, I may be feeling away. Sometimes people don't know. I don't tell them. I just pray because I feel like I know when I pray, He knows, and that's all that matters. You know, they say prayer really works, and it does.
It does.
You can feel one way before you pray, but after you pray, it's just like you feel better. You know,
Well,
you get everything that you needed. So,
yes, I'm a witness to that. Even like little practical steps, like if you're feeling some type of way about a person, don't go to one of your friends first. Talk to God about it first. He may change your heart about that person. Same situational, we're very quick and reluctant to just pour out our business to people who can't even help us or who just wants to know our business. When we have a God right there who is willing to fight on our behalf, if we just trust Him. Not saying that we can't go to our friends, but just go to God first.
this saves you a lot of time.
A lot of time and a lot of heartache. So 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 32 starts, but I want you to be free from concern. This is Paul speaking. The unmarried man is concerned about the things of the Lord, how he may please the Lord. So when you're single, you're gonna be more concerned about pleasing God. But the married man is concerned about worldly things, how he may please his wife. And I feel like that's what we were talking about earlier, how like once we find someone, it's like our prayer time is cut in half, or our reading the Bible is cut in half. And his interests are divided. So it's like half of you is wanting to please the Lord, half of you is wanting to please your significant other. Unmarried woman is concerned about the matters of the Lord, how to be holy and set apart both in body and in spirit. But a married woman is concerned about worldly things, how she may please her husband. Now I say this for your own benefit, not to restrict you, but to promote what is appropriate and secure, undistracted devotion to the Lord. As the verse goes on, Paul says, look, you're not sinning if you do marry someone, but he'd rather us be single just for the sake of pleasing God. So we don't have to go through a period of being discontent because we're focusing on way too much of our significant other as opposed to the word of God.
And I just want to say this, I don't know if you mind, but your mother had told me before, you know, talking to her, she was saying how that even though she is married, that her love, you know, for her husband, she loves her husband, but she said her love, you know, for God oversees that. So meaning like she's not just depending on him to love her. Like she said, even if, she told me before, like even if he walked out, you know, she might be hurt, but it's not going to overpower her because she know who her God is.
Right.
You know, and knowing that he will always be there and always love her, you know. And I feel like with us, that's what I feel like we need to learn that balance. Like she said, you know, it's not a sin to get married, but I feel like most of us need to learn how to, you know, balance God and being with someone and knowing that, yes, I love them, but don't allow your love to like overpower, you know, what God says and what you should do, you know, or, you know, your love for him.
My mom said, because she's actually had that conversation with me also, you can only truly love a person if you filter it through your walk with God. So spending time in the presence of God, he'll teach you things about yourself, he'll teach you things about your significant other that you wouldn't necessarily know outside of him revealing it to you. And so the more we pursue God, the more we are able to love our husbands and our wives, you know, the right way, the godly way, not just based off what we know. Because if we're being honest, like our generation is very broken, and they have this false perception of what love looks like. You know, they think, oh, I love a person because I have sex with them.
Show you, or I feel like I just have to have sex with them to see. And I feel like with that, I just want to get into that, just from relationships I've been in. Explains like, you know, not having sex while you're in the dating stage, you know, and not even like you're not even supposed to have sex like before marriage, but it just, you know, I feel like when you don't have sex, that gives y'all time more to understand each other and not to feel like, because I feel like once you have sex with that person, just like you like, oh, I'm just automatically interested in that person, where actually not getting to know them and you all actually understand each other. And I feel like that is so important, because with me, I've learned, like, I'll tell y'all, like, do not just jump in and thinking just sex is what's going to heal everything, because it gets to a point to where it gets old. And it's like, it's not going to always be the healing or, you know, helping y'all get through things. It's not. I feel like if y'all actually sit down, go after God, want to learn how to understand each other and talk and communicate, that is very important. It's way better than sex, if you ask me.
Yeah.
You know.
And from like what I've heard, like sex can cloud a person's judgment.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure we've all had friends where we're like, why are you with this person? They're a terrible person. And honestly, it's more than likely because of the physical aspect of their relationship. And the fact that they were never taught love. Like, once a person, like, if we're not taught to love correctly, then we're more reluctant to stay with people, even if they're toxic or abusive. Just because,
soul ties.
Yeah, soul ties.
Yes.
Just because they give us. I have an unhealthy desire of wanting someone to spend time with me. So I feel like, okay, if I'm talking to a guy, if I'm dating a guy, and he's not spending you know, enough time with me, then I don't feel loved by that person, you know? Yeah. And it's like, you know, part of that is because of like my dad issues, you know, him not being able to spend time with me growing up. So it's like I kind of feel rejected if I like a person and a guy says that he's interested in me. Rejected. Yeah. But that's unhealthy though. And I realized that. Yeah, we just have to learn, because our generation, we need lots and lots of healing, y'all. We're becoming more aware of like mental health and you know, just past traumas and how that affects our relationships, not just romantic relationships, but friendships as well.
It's everything that you all do or see the relationships off of social media. Like, I just feel like I have to put that out there because, you know, I feel like with me personally, I've done that a lot. Like, or sometimes seeing a couple like, oh, that's so cute, why can't we do that? And it's just like, you know, don't do that. It's not good to compare. Because you know, just because you may see a picture or a video doesn't mean that's what their relationship is based off of. You know,
because the world will try to feed you this false perception, and that's another. It all boils down to contentment. I really feel like the enemy tries to take away our contentment by feeding us things and making us desire things that aren't real. Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps up this video. If you made it this far in the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Roses and blue. And don't forget, there's no such thing as a late bloomer. Such thing as a late bloomer. Yeah. What are we gonna do now?
oh.
Don't let him like. Oh. That's it for this video.